Jason for having us, and thank you, Kim, for being a wonderful daughter and niece, and beautiful. I was talking with Jim Robb this past week, and I talked to Will, and I was talking about Thomas Jefferson, and everyone knows Thomas Jefferson. He of course was the third president, but that was not that important to him. What was important to him was he wrote the Virginia Statute for Religious Liberty and the Declaration of Independence, and he also founded the University of Virginia. But when he was a young man, his wife, Martha, who was affectionately called Patsy, died at a young age, and he went into a horrible, what I call it, deep melancholia, which is what we would call today is clinical depression. And he couldn't get over losing his wife and mother of his children. He finally, with his searing intellect, he came up with a truism. Life is for the living. And knowing that, he was able to go on and achieve even much more. And he meant living as both a noun and a verb. Life is for those who are still living. Life is for all of us. And life's also for the living thereof. So for all of us need to live our lives fully. Of course, we're going to miss Denise, we're going to mourn Denise, but she would want us to be living our life to the fullest. Now, and she did. However, we have to acknowledge the last several months of her life, she was miserable. And she sought refuge in death. And she now has that. And so I'm at peace with the fact that she's no longer suffering physically and mentally. And that leads me to a quote that our dad used to say, which I think is apropos here, and it fits in with what Jefferson said about living life to the fullest. And here, this is from a poem called Thanatopsis by William Cullen Bryant. Dad, by the way, used to recite at any gathering. If there was two people gathered together, he would be reciting. And I picked up some of those. So here we go. So live, that when thy summons comes to join that innumerable caravan which moves to that mysterious realm where each shall find his chamber in the silent halls of death, thou go not like the quarry slave at night, scourged to his dungeon, but sustained and soothed by an unfaltering trust, approach thy grave like one who wraps the drapery of his couch about him and lies down to pleasant dreams. Denise is laid down to pleasant dreams. Now I'll step aside and let any family member, any friend